Tonight, some are questioning the president's statement after certain media outlets were prevented from attending a gaggle with White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer. Fox News media analyst and host of Media Buzz, Howard Kurtz, is here to break it all down for us. Hi, Howard.
Hi, Elizabeth. Thanks very much. Well, as you said, White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer sparking a media uproar yesterday by holding an off-camera briefing for pool reporters, inviting some other journalists, but excluding such news organizations as CNN, the New York Times, and Politico. Now, many in the media condemning the move, with CNN anchor Jake Tapper calling it un-American, and Washington Post editor Marty Barron saying it was appalling. The White House Correspondents Association has registered a protest over the exclusion, and joining us now is Jeff Mason, White House reporter for Reuters and president of the White House Correspondents Association. And Jeff, what exactly is it that you're strongly protesting?
Well, what we're protesting, Howie, is the idea of not including a broad, diverse group of journalists in what is essentially the daily briefing. What happened yesterday was, instead of having the briefing in the press room, Sean Spicer and his team decided to hold a gaggle, as you said, in his office. And we encouraged them to hold that gaggle, even if it was going to be off camera, in the press briefing room, so that a lot of organizations could attend. And that's not what they did. And so a lot of organizations did not get a chance to ask questions or be present for that briefing, and that's why we protested.
All right. Now, the White House says this is no big deal, that virtually all of the daily televised briefings, all accredited news organizations are allowed to come and try to ask questions, and that because it was a pooled event, the pool distributed everything that happened between Spicer and those present to the rest of the media, and that therefore this is sort of a much ado about nothing. Your response?
Well, it's true that there was a pool reporter present and that information was distributed, but I guess our point is there are some times where it's appropriate to use a pool and there are some times where it's not. And yesterday was not one of those times in our view. We think it would have been better if all journalists in the press corps would have had a chance to have asked questions. But I do think it's important to emphasize the context, which is that Sean Spicer, since coming into office with President Trump, has been holding regular briefings in the briefing room on television. That is a trend that he has set, and we are optimistic that that's the trend that will continue, rather than one in which people are not included.
Now, a lot of people, Jeff, have been digging up quotes from Spicer. Back in December, he said, you can't, when it comes to government, ban an entity, conservative, liberal, or otherwise. That's what makes a democracy and not a dictatorship. So what are you going to tell him? What if he says, look, occasionally we're going to do this. It's all right. Other administrations have had selective briefings. What's the case are you going to make, and how might you get this overturned?
Well, again, our case is that at what is essentially a briefing, which is what he did yesterday about the news of the day, it should be in the briefing room. And even if it's not on camera, it should be in a place and at a time when the full press corps is able to take part.
All right. No question he was sending a message after President Trump's rather strong denunciation of the media at CPAC. Thanks very much, Jeff Mason. More after the break. We'll be right back.